I'm gonna be straight with you. I love my garage. It might have some issues, such as it's missing some windows. There's cavernous cracks in the floor. The roof is sagging. But the most important point is that it's my garage. While I may point out some of the flaws of my garage, I do realize that it is a privilege to even have a garage at all, let alone this oversized two-car garage. And I do realize how lucky I am to have this, because I know there are many that don't even have a garage at all, and some that maybe have a garage but don't have space for a shop. And I know that because that used to be me. We just bought this house maybe 4 months ago, and this garage was heaven for me. Now, people from way ahead of me can look back and think, oh, that's a little rough around the edges. But to me, this is the Taj Mahal of garages. I used to live on an acreage. It was a small 2-bedroom house. There was a single car detached garage, and I never was able to park in there because it was always full of the junk that I don't use. It would just pile and collect, and I was never able to keep up on it. It was never organized or clean. I hardly was ever able to use it. Also, when we bought that property, the roof had a hole in it that was about 6 foot in diameter, and just rain, snow, all went in there. So moving into this garage has really been a dream come true for me. And this is the first time that I've ever had a space that is truly mine, my own. I can make this shop whatever it is that I want. And being able to create things over the past couple months in a clean and organized shop, let's be real, it's not that clean or organized, but it's way better than I had before. It has been a wonderful outlet for me. I struggle with overthinking, hyperfixating, being distracted like a squirrel. So having a place to really focus my energy and put it into some creations is more than I ever could have asked for. And while you can create without a garage, truly, you can in a basement, you can in a spare room, you can just outside. Having this space has really elevated my process. So I'm going to take the camera and give you a little walk around and kind of explain what I got going on, what I've done, what my plans are for the future, and my thought process into creating my space. We might as well start right here at the table saw, because this is kind of the heart of the entire shop. I picked up this Craftsman 10-inch, it's a 113 model table saw here in town for about $100. It did come with a metal stand, but it was impossible to wheel around on that thing. So I ended up building this stand for it, and it has a box under here to collect shavings, and I just empty that out as needed. Now, part of learning how to do all of this, because once again, I am not a professional. I've only been doing this as a hobby for a little while, but part of learning is making mistakes. And there's a few things on here that I would have changed. I would have made the box smaller so that it's easier to get in and out. Would have made sure it had rails, plenty of things I could do to upgrade this. But honestly, Putting this table saw on casters was incredible. I can use it as it is right now. It sits up next to my workbenches and I can use that as an outfeed table. But if I need to, I can wheel it out into the middle of my garage if I'm doing sheet goods. And this thing is a champ. And over here is my miter station, you could call it. I picked this miter saw up for free about 10 years ago. I was working in the cable industry and I was installing some cable at a gentleman's house and he just said, "Hey, you don't happen to need a miter saw, do you?" And I said, "Yes, I do." He was going to throw it away. It's super old. It doesn't have a blade guard or anything on it. The lock doesn't even work anymore. But it spins a blade really fast and cuts through wood, so works for me. Now, I just positioned this between two workbenches here. This was already a part of the house when we bought it. And then I brought this workbench from my last house. I didn't build this, it just was there, so I took it with me. And I just kind of slapped up some 2x4s to make this even here, and voila, miter station. Now, one thing that I have a problem with is horizontal surfaces. I tend to pile everything on top of them, and I have to be very diligent to try and keep all of them clean. So it looks pretty good right now. That brings us over to my workbenches, and these are the first thing I built when I moved here. I've always wanted to build my own workbench. I thought it would be a great way to practice a few techniques, and these are incredible. I love them. They're so sturdy. This is the Anna White design, I believe, on Google. I just Googled workbench, found one that looked easy, and just replicated it. It's got a shelf down below and some good working surface up top. They are 2 foot by 4 foot, and I've got two of them together here. Like I said, I can use them as kind of an outfeed for my table saw as well. These are incredible. I think I made these for about 60 bucks a piece in lumber, and then my time, which, you know, is worth a lot to me at least. And now I've been working on my wall over here. Here is my wall of tools so far. I have many more tools than this that are just thrown around in random places around here, but I'm trying to go with Adam Savage's method of the first order retrievability thing. I always forget what it's called, but to where it's easy to just grab stuff and put it back. So that's supposed to help me actually put stuff away. As I'm sure you can tell, this garage was drywalled at one point, and it's not the best. The seams weren't done. It was kind of slapped on, and there's a lot of holes and cracks. But the worst part about drywalling is that you can't just hang up whatever you want, wherever you want. You need anchors, or you need to find the studs, or, you know, stuff like that. And I don't like that. I like to just walk up to the wall and screw something in, because that's just how I work. So I had this sheet of OSB running around. I just decided throw it up, and I mounted it to the studs, and now I can put stuff wherever I want it. So this is going to be my tool wall. I'm sure I'm going to go through plenty of different renditions of how this is all set up, but I'm very happy with it so far. Got my hammer rack, my screwdrivers, and some hand tools there. I just keep everything else scattered around the garage that I have to go looking for every time I need it. I just realized I've been spinning on this the whole time, so hopefully that's not distracting, but this is a little bit of a problem area right now. This is kind of catching all of my yard working tools, my miscellaneous house things, some trash that I just haven't thrown away yet. And my plan is to build a small shed just on the outside of the garage that I can put my mowers, snowblower, weed eaters, you know, all those tools. So then I can actually then take over this space as part of my shop space as well. And this is the rest. That's it. We plan on parking both of our vehicles in here, which we have been doing. So I need to leave this space open because we've always wanted to be able to park in a garage, and now we can. So we're going to. So there's tons of space here, but I plan on making most of my items on casters so that I can wheel them about if I pull the cars out. But this is a big garage, and I am so thankful to have it. And that's it. That's my whole shop. There is so much potential here. I'm barely scratching the surface of what I can do here with this space. I'm really excited moving forward. Hopefully this will be a great video to look back on here, you know, 6 months, a year, 10 years from now, and see really how it started and where I end up. And really the whole point is to just keep moving forward. Like I said, I had nothing when I first started in my 20s. I barely had a pot to pee in, you know what I mean? And I just have never stopped. I've worked and worked and worked to get to where I am, and I'm gonna continue to work and work and work to get to where I wanna go, because sitting around stagnant is not my thing. And maybe it's your thing, and that's totally fine. That's fine. That's great. I wish that I could stop sometimes. But moving forward, growth, progress, that's just what I like. You know what I mean? But anyway, I hope you enjoyed my shop tour. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. If you have any tips, ideas, you saw everything, maybe I'm doing something horribly wrong, just let me know, and I would like the input. There are plenty of people way more experienced than me that have much better answers, much better solutions, I'll say. So anyway, until the next one, thanks. I need to figure out some sort of sign off, or maybe I don't. I guess. Goodbye.